we're just going to go through it real quick. And I'm just going to give my thoughts on it. But I'll tell you right now, what this game feels like to me is Nobunaga's Ambition Awakening 1.5. This feels like a 1.5 almost 100% of the way through. Again, only a minute for each trailer, so let's see. But okay, so right away, this is exactly the same map as Awakening. All right, we're building. This is why I say it's Awakening 1.5. We're building right on Awakening's map. Exact same layout, castle territory, all the same. Don't like the new portraits at all. But, you know, maybe we'll get used to them. Who knows? But right away you can see, this is the skeleton. Same skeleton. Diplomacy. Utilizing diplomacy. We get a little sneak peek here. Different resources. Somebody mentioned on the last stream that I had, which we have streams on here all the time for Awakening for Koei games. Somebody mentioned that this looks like the stuff from Ascension. I agree. We're collecting different types of resources. Don't expect this diplomacy to work very well. It's probably going to be, there's probably just going to be one or two resources that are going to be dominant when dealing with the AI, you know, standard affair. But at least we'll have more options than what we've gotten recently, right? Okay, so right here, this, again, exact same layout. I will say the graphics on here, I don't know if it's on YouTube or not, but the graphics look worse. I think this is for the Switch. But graphically speaking, this looks like Taishi. Again, Skeleton of Awakening, same layout. Down to the tribes. Okay, down to the tribes. Castles in the same spots. Settlements, look at the little settlement icons. The only thing that's a little strange is the troop counts seem really low. We're in 1560 on this shot right here. These troop counts are really low. So I wonder if they reworked the numbers. Look, this is a castle over here, 498. So we might get smaller numbers throughout the game. And that would be pretty interesting because if a basic castle's got 498, then suddenly tribes matter a lot. Because if a tribe's still going to bring 1,000, that is a buff for tribes, fellas. That's a substantial buff for tribes, even if the tribes break at the same rate as they do in Awakening, right? This is cool right here, but this just looks like, you know, something that you're going to see again and again whenever a battle starts or something. But it's all right. I'll say the models look a little bit better. I don't think they're going to look like this actually in the engine, but we'll see. Okay, the theme of this installment is Just Cause. So Just Cause basically is hitting me like Cassus Belli from Crusader Kings. Or Crusader Kings 2, Crusader Kings 3. That's what this seems like. This system seems like you have to find, and this is the potential drawback with this system. You have to have a legitimate reason. Maybe you'll get to choose. So we have two options for Nobunaga, Shogunate Restoration or Vengeance, or perhaps both. So we're basically going to be able to build the reason, maybe choose a list, maybe build our own list, and maybe we'll get different benefits. Hopefully we have drawbacks as well. So if they can roll in the system from Taishi, where it's like, okay, you chosen Shogunate Restoration for Nobunaga, you get these benefits, but you also get this potential drawback. And the drawback can be something simple, right? You have a certain amount of time to do this. Something Koei does a lot of there's a lot of cool mechanics here, but you know they're not going to be super deep, so don't expect anything too crazy. But this system here is going to help move the game along. I think the Just Cause system is going to move the game along fairly quickly. It's going to speed up the game. One of the problems with Awakening, one of the things that people complained about the most is that it was a little too slow. So Awakening got a series of patches. They added authority battles so you could take more territory. They eventually added decisive battles so you could take huge pieces of the map, right? To wrap up your campaigns faster. The Just Cause system could be the next step in authority battles, in decisive battles, where you can just say, I want to restore the shogunate, so I'm going to lay siege to these 5 territories. Or I can immediately march on these 5 territories. Again, look at the castle. Look at the numbers. These are very low numbers. Western Takeda, 300. Ashikaga, 972. Very low numbers for this. So, again, tribes are going to get a buff through that. If the tribe, even if the tribe threshold is still 500, if it's still half, that's a buff for them. So you can see here, he chose Shogunate Restoration. Here's the goal. Again, maybe he'll get a buff while you're going after this territory. You'll get a buff. Hopefully you get some potential drawbacks as well. It's not just straight buffs, but that's fine if it is. One more thing I'll say about the Just Cause system. My only concern with it is that if this is just a light version of the Cassus Belli system, hopefully there's not restrictions and you can just go to war normally. Hopefully the game doesn't force you or penalize you because you don't have a Just Cause system. That's the only thing I'm worried about, because then you're going backwards. If you invented this Just Cause so you can quickly go for a region and the object is to speed up, but then you make it so that your player has to play for that and it's too difficult to get that goal. I'm thinking of Prestige from Awakening. If you make goals like that slow the player down, then you're staying in the same place. This reminds me of Rise to Power. You know, Awakening is the best in the modern games, in my opinion. But PS2 era is still the best for Koei stuff. You know, there's no disputing that. This reminds me of Rise to Power. Customizing your town, choosing where you put your districts, what bonuses you're going to get, all that stuff. If we're going to save downtime conquering the map, then I feel like Koei is going to save us time doing that, and they're going to move the downtime so that you can customize your towns, which is great. Story mode. Okay. Story mode's interesting because they're calling it story mode. It's not a tutorial, it's a story mode. So this gives me hope that whenever we do see the power-up kit, this is, again, speculation, but my guess is that whenever we see the power-up kit, we will see an Ascension-style officer play added later on to this game. I think story mode is going to be the beta, just the beginning, not even the 0.1, you know, just the alpha state of what will be officer mode. That's my guess. Hey, again, don't like this animation that they put in Romance 8 Remake as well. It's just Uncanny Valley where the portraits are kind of moving. Don't like it at all. Super cheap. I mean, they look worse. No looks worse here. I don't like this at all. I don't think anybody does. I don't even like this. I don't know. Even that one I don't like. Alright guys, so that was it right there. Like I said, not a lot of info, but let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What do you guys see when you look at this quick little trailer? What do you want to see? I'm hoping that the combat they just add on to the combat in Awakening. You know, weather system. Maybe let us build, if they're going to keep the node system for movement, let us build on some of these nodes. Let us build some fortifications, stuff like that. And, you know, just little bells and whistles on the combat system. Maybe formations. Who knows? But anyway, I'll see you guys on the next one. Until then, take care.